A movie about an arcade junkie who uses his skill to save the galaxy. I'm game. The Last Starfighter. Directed by Nick Castle and released on July 13, 1984 by Universal Pictures and Lorimar Films. Shot in just 40 days, the film stars Lance Guest as discount Luke Skywalker Alex Rogan, and the lovely Catherine Marie Stewart plays his girlfriend Maggie, and Robert Preston, in his last on-screen performance, plays the fast-talking Centauri. The plot of The Last Starfighter revolves around a young man stuck in the middle of nowhere, dreaming of a life of significance, and after he meets a weird old guy, he goes off on an adventure full of strange aliens, becomes a starfighter, and ultimately saves the galaxy from an evil empire. Now, where have I heard this little yarn before? When Alex is turned down for his loan to go to a big city college, it looks like he's stuck in the boondocks for the rest of his life, where all he has to pass the time is an arcade game. But the film is called The Last Starfighter, so he's a pilot, you know, and someday he's gonna fly away from this place. The real charm of this film is not only the general theme of video games save the universe, but in the supporting cast. The quirky little community doesn't get much screen time, but they manage to give the film heart and a light-hearted feel. Fun fact, Will Wheaton, who Star Trek fans will know as Ensign Wesley Crusher, is in this film, although his dialogue was cut from the final release, as if even the editors were telling him, "Shut up, Wesley."
Vader, burn! Level, Mustafa!
Not the only Trek actor in this film, however. Gul Dukat himself, Mark Alamo, plays a small role as an alien hitman who ends up looking like Admiral Akbar with rabies. Also, Meg Wiley, who played the main Telosian keeper in the 1966 pilot of Star Trek, plays the grandmother of Alex's girlfriend. Back to the movie. With nothing else to do, Discount Luke is busy bullseyeing Kodan when he breaks the all-time record of the game, causing a signal to be sent through space, because as fate would have it, the game is actually a flight simulator to test pilot aptitude. Screenwriter Jonathan Betwell had just read The Once and Future King by T.H. White, and when he saw a boy in an arcade, the thought occurred to him to write a King Arthur type of tale set in the modern age, where the sword and the stone is replaced by a game that is more than it seems. When Alex is walking home, a mysterious stranger pulls up in basically a space DeLorean and asks who broke the high score of the game. The man asking the questions is Centauri, kind of a shifty Obi-Wan. But then, Obi-Wan was always kind of shifty with all the crap he made up about me, all while he was training my kid to whack me. So Alex breaks the first two rules of, staying alive. Never talk to strangers, and certainly never get into their car. But when he does, Centauri flies him across the galaxy to become a starfighter due to his exceptional skill, leaving behind a replica droid or beta unit to take his place back home so he won't be missed. After a nice little bit of plot exposition, they arrive on Rylos, otherwise known as Planet Male Pattern Baldness. And not just the men, but the women, and probably the children too. According to production designer Ron Cobb, the bald head was meant to make the aliens look more intelligent, but honestly, they all just look like Larry from the Three Stooges to me. I also can't help but notice Babylon 5 seems to have taken a little inspiration from our follically challenged Rylians for the design of the Minbari. And get a load of Squidward here. The Pakmara look awfully similar too, but then, so do the Ood from Doctor Who, so I guess tentacles are just creepy to everyone. Especially if they're coming right out of your face. Interestingly, Babylon 5 was the first television series to utilize CGI for their spaceships in much the same way the last Starfighter did, so call it fate or call it luck. But in my experience, there's no such thing as luck. Anyway, just as Alex is being introduced to the Star League, Xur, our villain of the picture, interrupts the proceedings, doing his best Palpatine impression, appearing as a giant holographic head to taunt our heroes for a bit. Turns out Xur is in cahoots with Lord Krill, leader of the Kodan Armada, who basically looks like a space turd wearing a scouter. Sadly looking more like DBZ than Dragon Ball Evolution. So General Space Turd and his band of California raisins plan to attack the peaceful world of the Star League because, honestly, being a turd floating through space really stinks. I mean, they're just looking for some relief. All the strain they're under, it's really hard. But if they can just find a nice planet to squat on, everything will come out alright in the end. I'm sorry. I know this whole line of jokes was really corny. Basically, the Kodan want to wipe out the little stinkers on Rylos. And as our heroes prepare for the Kodan attack, the pilots begin chanting, "Victory or death." But that's like how war works, right? You either win or you die. Anyway, Alex decides the prospect of being killed in the cold vacuum of space is less than ideal, and suddenly, community college doesn't seem so bad. When Centauri tells Alex he could stand alongside the greatest men in history if he helped save the galaxy, he says, "Listen, Centauri, I'm not one of those guys. I'm just a kid from a trailer park." And here's where we get the most poignant moment of the film, as Centauri cuts him off and tells him, "If that's what you think, then that's all you'll ever be." Jonathan Betuel was working as a cab driver when he wrote the first draft of his screenplay, and wanted to inspire people never to give up on their dreams. And I want to take a moment to do the same. Never let where you're from or your current circumstance in life dictate your future. Work hard, pursue your passions, and do not despise small beginnings. The largest trees come from the smallest seeds, and I believe the seeds of greatness are in each and every one of you. Your focus determines your reality, so never give up. Keep striving for your goal, and tell yourself every morning that you can do it. Believe in yourself, and believe in your dreams. Back to the movie. So Alex hops in his Gunstar with his navigator Greg, by far the best character in the film. And thanks to some fancy shooting, it's game over for Xur and his evil gang of space turds. In the end, The Last Starfighter is a fun coming-of-age story with a great cast, heroic film score by composer Craig Safin, and a unique concept that makes it truly entertaining. But it is not without its problems. So did this film break the high score? Sadly, the visual effects, though groundbreaking at the time, have not aged well. And between the tedious side plot with Alex's beta unit back on Earth and Alex's pervy foul-mouthed little brother, it's definitely a mixed bag that doesn't fit the family-friendly tone of the rest of the film. So for this reason, I give The Last Starfighter a solid 3 out of 5 Death Stars. The Emperor is not as forgiving as I am. If your favorite video game turned out to be real, what world would you be transported to? Comment below and let me know. And also, a link to our PayPal is in the description. Please consider donating today so we can keep making great content for you all. Your support is greatly needed and appreciated. This has been Vader Reviews. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications, and follow me on Twitter at Vader Reviews. Join the Empire today. You do not yet realize your importance. Share these videos, and together we will rule the internet. And always remember, you don't know the power of the dark side.